morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Tuesday, April 19th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hey, you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and all the other social media sites by searching Larry Steinhouse. Today is a special Let's Go Brandon edition of the Money Chat Now show. If you could correctly guess how many times I say Let's Go Brandon, and I'll give you a hint, that's 2 so far, you will win a pair of tickets to the Freedom and Finances event. After the show, the first person who calls me at 855-939-1137, it's a different phone number, 855-939-1137, with the correct answer will win 2 tickets to the event. Find out more about the event by going to 4mmw.com, 4mmw.com. All right, start counting. So far, we're 2. Hey, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and let everybody know that it's a Let's Go Brandon event day. All right, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook, and you can comment live on the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. Hey, by the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard, so please go to the Money Chat Now page and comment there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and of course you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to Investor Schooling, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. All right, I want to take a minute to say hello to a couple of people online. Thank you all for watching. You're awesome. I want to say hello to Peter, and I want to say hello to Dan and my lovely wife Linda, who always watches. She's my biggest fan, and Charles, and I'm sure we'll have lots of other people coming up. All right. So far, today we're going to be discussing a futures update. We're going to be talking about mask mandate overturned. Is it overturned? We're going to know in a minute. We're going to be talking about the Twitter saga. We're going to be talking about 50,000 businesses closing and $30 an hour minimum wage. Hey, this is great stuff. All right, let's talk about the futures right now. Let's talk about what's going on. Yesterday was definitely an enigma. The market did not know what to do, so it basically did it all. It went up, then it went down, then it went up, then it went down, then it went up again, and then it went down again, and it finished about 50 points down. The S&P finished down about a point, and the NASDAQ finished down about 19. We had Bank of America release their earnings, and they kind of did well. It wasn't that bad. At first, it appeared that Wall Street was not impressed when the stock moved up just a few pennies, and then all of a sudden it took off. It made a really nice play after all. However, it's still lower. Just keep in mind, the stock is still lower than it was 7 days ago. So it seems like the market enjoys these little teases. Twitter, of course, was the winner as the curious stockholders waited for Elon Musk's next move. You know, Musk did say that the current board of directors has no one interest in mind except for possibly the left-wing liberals that want to censor any thoughts that aren't theirs. So Musk may actually end up owning Twitter and allowing free speech once again. Wow. All right, Synchrony Financial was also a winner with great earnings report. You know, I got to tell you, Synchrony Financial is the next Countrywide to me. You know, if you remember, Countrywide had all the mortgages in 2008, and when the market came tumbling down, Synchrony, when the market came tumbling down in 2008, Countrywide just died. It crashed, right? It became nothing. It actually went out of business, and Bank of America had to take over their notes. But Synchrony has almost all of the credit cards for companies like Amazon, eBay, Samsung, and others. Did you notice how many credit cards or credit sources you write checks to that have Synchrony on them? Even PayPal has Synchrony, right? So, well, if the economy dumps, Synchrony is going to have all that defaulted credit on their books. I see a major stock in their stock price coming soon. You know, today we're going to have some major earnings reports, and this might be a good day as long as they come in good. We have J&J reporting, which, by the way, they already reported. They didn't do so well. And here's an interesting statement, too. They stopped reporting on COVID vaccine stats. So they're not telling how many they did or how much money they made. They don't even care anymore. Halliburton is also up today, IBM, and Netflix after the bell. The most interesting one is going to be Netflix, and I'm going to tell you, with another recent price increase, I believe this will top estimates. The stock also is at less than half of its all-time high this year of 700. I actually think the play is today. If you have the cojones to get in on a day of earnings, it might not be a bad play. I took a little bit of money and I chanced it on this one. I kind of like it. I also bought a few S&P call options because I expect the market to move up a bit this week. Nothing more than a hunch, but just let you know, I think these are going to be both good plays. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, the futures are the Dow is down 11, the S&P is down 3, and the NASDAQ is down 20. Hey, I want to remind you all that it is a special Let's Go Brandon edition of the Money Chat Now show. If you can correctly guess how many times I say Let's Go Brandon today, you will win a pair of tickets to the Freedom of Finance event. After the show, the first person who calls me at 855-939-1137 with the correct answer wins 2 tickets to this weekend's event. To find more about the event, we're going to be talking about it in a little while, but to find out more about the event, go to 4mmw.com, 4mmw.com. All right, let's talk about the mask mandate. I think I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Freedom has hit the friendly skies at last. I really think I'm tearing up. I can't believe it. You can actually fly in a plane without wearing a mask. I think I'm going to cry. Yes, it's a glorious day. Freedom at last. I'm going to cry. No, not because I'm so happy that this country has finally become free again. No, not because it took so long. And no, not because I'm ecstatic that this is finally over. I'm going to cry because I canceled my flight next week thinking it wasn't over yet. Damn you, Gestapo Joe. So here's the story. As you know, I monitor the news daily to help both inform and entertain you. And all of a sudden, I looked at my computer screen, and there it is. A news flash that Florida a Florida judge has overturned the Nazi mask mandate. All right, now it didn't say Nazi mask mandate, but I'm sure the person writing the headline wishes they could have written it that way. All I saw was the headline. I clicked on the link and there was no story, just a headline and a footnote saying this is a developing story. Well, I kept refreshing the page, and then one paragraph of the story would pop up at a time. First, it was nothing more than a reiteration of the headlines, but slowly the details started to come in. And it appears that the Trump Freedom Team is still entrenched in the government, as a Trump-backed and appointed district judge, Catherine Kimball Mizell, who I bet understands and knows what a woman is, by the way, in Tampa, she ruled that the CDC had failed to adequately explain its reasons for the mandate and did not allow public comment. This is a violation of federal procedures for issuing new rules. Well, I'm sorry, but Catherine, didn't you know that, the Democrats can do whatever they want? They don't have to read rules? Well, finally, somebody overturned it. Gestapo Joe and his Nazi minions aren't sitting still on this one, and Jen Stupidaski said in a press conference that the administration is reviewing the court's ruling and the Justice Department will determine whether it will appeal. The Justice Department declined to comment on it. So I sat and I waited for a signal. Will the airlines feel compelled to continue the charade until March 3rd just to avoid problems? And then the announcements started coming out. First up, United Airlines said in a statement that effective immediately, masks would no longer be required on domestic flights or certain international flights. Woo! Let's go, Brandon! And then about 7 o'clock last night, another headline stating the TSA would enforce COVID mask mandates would not enforce COVID mask mandates on planes, any public transport after the court ruling. Now, wait a minute. Does that mean it's over? I'm not sure yet. Well, Delta Airlines and Alaska Airlines also made similar announcements, reiterating the announcement that United Airlines made. And I looked up this morning the American Airlines website, and this was the notice on the website. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the Communist Dictators Corporation, continues to recommend that people wear a face mask in indoor public transportation settings, but they aren't required to be worn on airplane settings or on your flight unless individual jurisdiction has these requirements. Woo! Let's go, Brandon! For those who don't know the story behind the lawsuit, it's an organization called the Health Freedom Defense Fund, a group that opposes public health mandates, and also 2 individuals who argued that wearing masks while flying exacerbated their anxiety and panic attacks. By the way, that would have been me. That's why I wasn't going to fly. I was going to be thrown off the airplane. And they filed this lawsuit against the Biden administration in July 2021, and it's about time they were heard, and about time Gestapo Joe was put in his place. Let's go, Brandon! Well, I can't wait. I can't get my tickets back, so my trip has been postponed, but I'll be going soon. Honey, I know you're watching, so book that trip for mid-May, and let's go. All right, mask free. And by the way, did I say, let's go, Brandon? I want to say the real thing, but, I got a funny feeling that WWDB radio would throw me off the air. So everyone online listening, get in your car, and at a count of 3, let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, Brandon! Yeah! All right, that reminds me, if you're sick of this administration, you're sick of the masks and the vaccine mandates by the Gestapo regimes in office, and you want to support America by saying, let's go, Brandon! You want to be at the Finance and Freedom event this weekend? We're hosting it on this Sunday, April 24th at the Washington Crossing Inn. And we're going to have as my special guests people like Bill Spadea, a real freedom fighter in New Jersey. And we have Doug Mastriano, a freedom fighter and hopeful in the governor's race for Pennsylvania. And we also have Teddy Daniels, his running mate. Look, we got so much stuff going on in this event. You're going to learn how to buy apartment buildings. You're going to learn how to get all the money you ever wanted. You're going to learn how to save money in taxes. And you need to go to 4mmw.com or 4mmw.com or keep counting the amount of times I say it, and you will get some free tickets. All right, let's talk real quick about Twitter as well. The Twitter saga continues as Elon Musk's. By the way, if someone was going to be the real-life, modern-day, or real-life Iron Man, wouldn't you expect it to be Elon Musk? Anyway, the superhero Musk continues to move forward to make Twitter and America great again. By the way, he's been taunting the board of directors of Twitter and continues to insist that he will buy the company and take it private and allow free speech on Twitter. Let's go, Brandon! Well, Musk may have some competition, and another company has expressed interest in buying Twitter. Apollo Global Management considering participating in a bid, according to an unknown source. By the way, whenever I see a statement like this, I automatically dismiss it. This is probably a fabricated story being used to drive up the price of Twitter. However, let me explain who they are. Apollo Global, they own Yahoo. Anybody remember Yahoo? It's almost as bad as AOL. Anybody remember AOL? So that means Musk will take over Twitter. By the way, if Musk takes over Twitter, we'll have freedom. And if Apollo takes over Twitter, it'll turn into Yahoo. And they'll probably have to rename Twitter something like, Crickets. Well, I don't believe this is a real offer, but I do believe Musk's offer is real enough that the board is running for protection. However, we're going to have a few more months before we get mean tweets from the greatest president this country ever had. So let's all say, let's go, Brandon. See you guys in a minute.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from 2 Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
2829, 866-424-2829. All right, and listen, everybody, hit that like button, hit that share button, and let everybody know they could win 2 free tickets to the Freedom and Finance event if they've been counting. All right, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the S&P is, the Dow is down 5, the S&P is down 2, and the NASDAQ is down 13. Okay, real quick, we also have been talking about, of course, the mask mandate overturned. Yahoo! We've been talking about the Twitter saga continuing, and coming up, we have 50,000 businesses closing and $30 an hour minimum wage. And of course, we also have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Did you guys hit that share button yet? Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook. When you get home, let me know what you think of the show. And before we start the second half, we all know a new financial situation is coming. Hey, is it going to be a recession or a simple downturn? Well, if you want to survive through it, you should order my new book. Go to barnesandnoble.com and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Pre-order it, and I promise you're going to learn something. I'm also going to tell you, if you want to, put down June 1st as a save the date, because I'm going to be having a special book launch, and I'm going to be buying you dinner.
Okay, so you
put
thought
down
about
June
investing
1st as a special date. All right, let's get into what's going on. Don't forget, today is a special Let's Go Brandon edition of the Money Chat Now show. Hey, if you correctly guessed how many times I say Let's Go Brandon today, you will win a pair of tickets to the Freedom and Finance event. After the show, the first person who calls in at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137 with the correct answer wins 2 tickets to the event. Find out more about the event by going to 4mmw.com. That's right, 4mmw.com. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, it looks like my wife already booked the trip to Vegas. I'm psyched. All right, let's talk about businesses closing. Thanks to the brilliance of the leaders of the liberal ding-dong party, we had 2 years of complete BS with lockdowns and mask mandates. Now, UBS Financial has made a bold prediction on the state of businesses in America. As you know, the scamdemic led to a surge in store closures. Dozens of retailers filed for bankruptcy, and that emptied out shopping malls and left vacancies scattered across the streets of major markets, including big cities like New York City. You know, now that things have changed, of course, and several companies not only reopened, but added new locations. By the way, I did say that the scamdemic would be a great time to start up a restaurant. I felt the rent would be low and the customer base would build back quickly as we went back to life and all said, "Let's go, Brandon." Well, UBS Financial stated that they felt demand for those new stores and locations would fade. However, this is kind of weird. UBS Financial actually said that they're lowering their estimates from 80,000 stores to 50,000 stores that are closed. Is that good news? Well, I guess it is if you're one of the 30,000 not closing. You know, I'm actually wondering what will happen to shopping malls. I did notice there are more and more people, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've actually noticed that there are more and more people going back to malls, but many of the stores are closed. The local mall near me by my office actually has a store that's rented as a boxing gym. A boxing gym. Could you imagine? How weird would it have been for a person in charge of building that mall about 40 years ago to see the anchor stores like Sears and Wanamaker's closed while a boxing gym and discounted flea market type stores are taking over what used to be sought after real estate? It's sad, but let's also remember that malls were dying before the scamdemic, and the scamdemic was just the final nail in the coffin of many of the malls. You know, I actually think a mall property would be a great investment at the moment if you could find a good use for the huge real estate. I have a few ideas, and maybe we'll see them in a few years, but right now expect more closings and watch for the self-fulfilled recession that's coming. And oh yeah, let's all say, let's go Brandon! All right, let's talk about $30 an hour minimum wage. Well, it finally happened. You know, the people revolted and got their $15 an hour pay. Many states in the union have adopted $15 an hour as minimum wage, and others soon will follow. New York City has officially adopted this rate at the end of last year, and now fast food workers can earn a living wage. A living wage. At least that's what they're calling it, and work work each hour for about 2 to 3 gallons of gas. Yahoo! What an accomplishment! Let's praise the leader of the party who did this for them, and all together now, let's say, let's go, Brandon. Well, we all know that the big union movement, you know, the movement to force employees to conform to the low standards of the lazy employees, because as union workers, you aren't allowed to be an individual. You are a group and can't benefit from the hard work and extra effort you might put in. You know, the union workers that think that they're holding businesses hostage when it's the union holding the employees hostage. Those guys. Well, the union is coming to Apple stores, and believe it or not, their first request is $30 an hour minimum wage. So if you come to work almost on time, punch a clock and input someone's name and credit card into an iPad and sell them an iPad, you will now earn $30 an hour if the union wins. Earth to Apple employees, did you know that most people buy their Apple products from the internet? They don't need you and your $30 an hour demands. I want to remind them all of the kiosks now found in fast food places, and also the self-checkout lanes in supermarkets, and all of the Amazon trucks riding around. Hey, Apple, listen, you employees looking for $30 an hour? I have just 3 words for you. Let's go, Brandon. By the way, is anyone counting? Here's another one before we go to the break. Let's go, Brandon. I'll see you guys in a minute. Investor Schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of them.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor Schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. And so far, we've been discussing the mask mandate overturned. Yay! Finally, I can fly again! We've been talking about the Twitter saga continuing with Elon Musk. We've been talking about 50,000 businesses closing and $30 an hour minimum wage for Apple employees. Insert your own laugh there. All right, coming up, we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you guys hit that share button yet? Come on. Let everyone know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. You can share on your page. Share it in groups, too. Come on, let everybody know about this. Share it in groups that you will feel will benefit from the great stock plays and from the comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy. Hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. You can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics behind the stock market. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen today. All right, I got to be honest, today's futures are kind of baffling me. Last night, they were up about 150 points. And then even this morning, when I arrived at the studio, they were up in the 70-point range. Now they went negative, and then they went positive, and now they're kind of sitting there. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I looked for stories, and the only thing I was able to find was a report this morning that said a 75 basis point increase in interest rate is not off the table. The last time somebody used the words not off the table, they extended the mask mandate for 2 more weeks, but then a judge overturned it. So maybe we'll get 75 basis points, and then a judge will overturn it. All right. We also know that a 50-point basis increase is a possibility, but a 75-point basis increase would tank the stock market and the housing market almost immediately. News like this, I believe, is manipulative and not unnecessary. It's kind of like the COVID numbers and the fake projections for the headlines and the fear-induced, media, right? By the way, let's go, Brandon. So today, look for bargains in the morning. I have a feeling the market's going to reverse today and end up really, really good. If you're in the right place, you're going to be happy. By the way, on deck, of course, we have Netflix, and that's going to set the tone for the rest of the earnings season. We need a good number from them. I still like Meta and Apple into earnings next week. Google's earnings are the day before Facebook next week, and that will set the price expectation for Facebook. So pay attention to it. Either way, next week is going to be even more fun than this week. And a final look at the futures shows the Dow up about 18 points. The S&P is up about 2.5 points, and the NASDAQ is up about 12 points. Let's talk a little bit about crypto real quick. So crypto, I got to tell you, all the cryptos are kind of hovering in their smaller range now. There's nothing major going on here. I still like, and I've said this before, I really like Coinbase as a play. So Coinbase is sitting there right around 150. It was funny, we had a mastermind last night, and I discussed this play because I actually think it's that good of a play. So Coinbase is basically sitting there at about 150 right now. And Coinbase makes money off this the purchase and selling of cryptocurrencies. They don't own cryptocurrencies. So the price of crypto has nothing to do with the potential to make Coinbase go up. So I really like Coinbase, thinking that, people are still buying and selling crypto. It doesn't matter. And if people think that crypto is going to move up, they're going to buy more. And if they think it's going to move down, they're going to sell it, which means other people are going to buy it at a lower number. So it actually means that I think that Coinbase is going to do well. Their earnings is coming up in I believe in about a month. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe in about a month. And that to me makes it a really good play. So it might be something you may want to get into. My only concern with it is it's bouncing off its 52-week high right around 150. So that concerns me a little bit. But hey, it's a play. It's a speculation play. It's not one of my favorite kind of plays, but I will definitely say it'll be a good play if you want to get into it as a play. All right. The other thing too is, of course, one of my favorite plays is gold and silver. Now, gold and silver, I've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, and it was creeping up quietly. So basically, gold and silver were moving up quietly, and no one was talking about it. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, I saw a few news articles, probably because gold was just hovering under 2,000. And the new range in precious metals is, basically, I believe, like I said before, I believe gold's going to hit 2,000 and stay there and stay above there. I also believe silver's going to hit 28 and stay there as well. The Treasury bond yield touched 2.9%, and this is a level that has not seen since late 2018. Now, look, I got to be honest with you. This should have been the normal numbers until the Democrats destroyed the economy with the scamdemic. Let's go, Brandon, right? So that's what happened there. So I actually think that the 3% Treasury bond rate is normal. I also think that the market is starting to adapt to it. So don't worry about it. I think it'll be fine. Hey, I want to thank all you listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And of course, if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. My name, of course, is Larry Steinhouse, and I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am also the CEO of Investor Schooling, and I am the one who drives around in the SUV that says, "Let's go, Brandon." All right. From time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show, and the opinions discussed in this show is solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. Hey, real quick, tomorrow night, I'm going to be at the Temperance House in Newtown. If anybody wants to go to Temperance House in Newtown and join me and Bill Spadia, we're going to be having a lot of fun. We'll be there at 5:30 tomorrow night at the Temperance House in Newtown. All right. Anyway, have a profitable day.